All
Hi, my
right.
name is Roy Canterbury, and I'm going to be hosting on Arch Talk 101, and we have Christina on the line with us, and we're going to find out what's going on in her world of archery and whatever else we get into. Welcome to the show.
Hello there.
Uh, How about if you introduce
So,
yourself and tell us a little something about yourself?
yeah, my name is Christina Tiflidou. I'm from Greece, and I'm 35 years old. Um, I'm a material scientist. I'm working at the university with new generation of solar cells project right now. And one of my hobbies is actually archery, which is combined from two sides. I also shoot sometimes whenever I have time as an archer, mainly recurve or a longbow. And I'm also international judge of world archery.
Well, that we're going to have some good conversations about that kind of stuff. So, what got you started in archery?
So this was actually a common hobby with my mom. My mom also wanted to join many years ago. Like we started it in 2004, if I remember well, as something that we could do together. Because actually, the fun part is that you don't have age limitation for archery. So we wanted to start shooting together, and that is how archery started getting to my life when I was in high school, if I remember well. At some point in my life, being a student, I had a limited time, so I couldn't practice. I had no time for practicing archery, but still, we wanted to go together to competitions. Uh, so a good solution for that was that I joined the seminar, the judges seminar, in the national level. So then I could go as a judge, and my mom was shooting. Uh, so then it was again something that we could combine for weekends.
That sounds weird. You didn't have the time to actually shoot to get your practice in, and you became a judge so that you could still get to go and be with your mom. That sounds like a win-win on your part there.
Yeah, and at some point, so I started as a national judge in 2011 or 2012. Uh, and then at some point in 2015, the Greek Archery Federation organized the European Grand Prix. And then for the supporting part of the judges team, they needed to select some national judges also through an exam, like the best options that they could get, um, to have them during this whole competition as a support team. It always works like that in European level at least, but mostly also in international level. That you have the appointed judges from World Archery Europe or World Archery, and you also have the national judges who are having a supporting role to help the rest of the judges. And then I was selected for that European Grand Prix, and then I saw how an international event is going on. This was something really amazing. I liked it a lot. And my friends, some of my friends, judges who I knew there at this European Grand Prix, like Christophe Pezet from France or Katie Liscombe from UK, they all told me that I was pretty good as a judge and I should continue my career and get to the European level and then international one. And that's how it started to be getting upgraded.
Now, what all does a judge do? at the different levels?
All right. So at you mean what is the difference between being a judge in national level or
Yeah,
international?
what does a judge do like at a national level? And then we'll
Mm.
get on what happens that you get up, move up in levels.
So first of all, in the national level, it's more simple, but you have to do more things because you have less people around. So you might need to be more multitasking even in national level, and you have more electronical support. You have things that you have to do more manually. So during a competition, you actually have to first of all do the field inspection to check if the safety. Our first role is safety, 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 safety.
Right.
With respect to the field of play and with respect to the archer's equipment. So first we start with field inspection, and then we go for equipment inspection to be sure that everything is according to the rules, etc., so that we can begin a match. Then we do the timing. So we keep the timing of the shooting. We also take care if all the archers are back so that we can begin the next shooting round. We also control the whole timing system. We also control like if there are penalties, like for example, if someone shoots more than 6 arrows, if it's outdoor, or they missed arrows, they never came to report them. You check if there is an arrow is shot or not with a 3-meter line zone. But many things during competition, many things.
A lot of
Issues.
things behind the scenes that you don't really see when you see the videos of the archers shooting, and they don't show
Yes,
the work you guys have to put in.
Especially so the difference between the national level and international is basically about the finals. So you have the final shooting, which means you have live streaming going on, and then there are difficulties coming out. So you have the whole team behind the scenes this working on in order to make it quick, to make it fascinating, and to make it correctly, and to make it on time, on schedule, and everything. So, for example, you have on the elimination round, which is also the same. It's the simple thing that we have also in the national level. If you have a national championships, for example, you will have first to shoot your arrows, to get your position, and then you get the elimination matches in order to get the championships. This is a standard thing. But if you get to European or international level, like worldwide, then for the top matches, if it's or gold medal matches, or in the Olympic, or in order to get to the Olympics, then you have already 8 matches or even more matches that they go to the finals round, finals field, which is for the live streaming, depending on the how much important is each event. And there, the team is working in a completely different setup. You have 3 different parts, basically. You have the line judge, who is together with the archers on the line, who is going to talk with them, with the archers. He has the contact with the archers. He's going to say who is shooting first, who's second, according to how the ends are going on and the scoring. He is going to control if the archers they have enough arrows to shoot the next round. If the runner is back and he gave already the arrows, so that he's ready to shoot. If the safety is all right, I mean, you will check the fit if it's clear, and then you will give it ready to go. You check if the timing system works during the shooting. If the clocks are not working properly, you're gonna stop the match. And of course, if there are penalties, you will give the cards. If, for example, you have team matches, then you have a yellow card penalty. If someone is shooting out of time, you have a red card, things like that. And then you have another position, which is completely different. You have the target judge, and you have the scoring judge, who are on the blinds during shooting. And they are getting out whenever the shooting is finished, after the 3 beeps. And there, the target judge is responsible to give the score, like 10, 10, 9. If there's any liner, he's going to check the liner with a magnifying glass. And also for the shoot-offs, the judge is going to measure if the arrows are they have the same score and they're very close to the center, or like or it's more or less the same distance. The judge needs to measure and find out which one is closer to the center and give the signal who is the winner. So this is part of the target judge. And then you have a scoring judge who is keeping the scoring like it would be the archer itself. If you have an elimination round, they score together, right? And they're gonna cross sign. But in that case, the archers are not there, and the scoring judge is doing that. So he's actually filling up the scoring. And he's also going to check that, radio check it, with the scoring team of the federation, which are keeping the electronic system scoring, which is going to be shown on the TV as well. So the paper that is on the targets needs to be in line with the electronic system, which is on TV. So
lot to it.
A lot of things to do.
Yeah, sounds like there's a lot of things to do, keeps you busy, and a lot of behind the scenes stuff you don't see going on. You just see the archers shooting, and then the narrator calling out what they shot, and some of them look like they're really close to the line and they're calling them out, and it's and until you get up there to actually score them, you don't know for sure.
Exactly. So this is exactly behind the scenes. You're gonna know what is going on if something works wrong at some point, because it can happen. And then you will understand a little bit what is going on.
Yeah, that was quite interesting when you said you're a judge. It's like I got to hear about this, what all goes on, because putting on a small 3D shoot, you have to set them up, and the archers scored them themselves, and you just have to trust what they put down is what they put down. But at that level, you don't trust the archer to score them. You want to make sure it's fair, so there's absolutely no cheating involved in it.
There's no option of cheating, actually, because first of all, the scoring is only with the judges,
right?
And there are just the agents. So there are agents from each of the archers who are also at the blinds, and they're checking what the judge is writing down on the scoring card, and if they have anything against, they're gonna say that.
Yeah, so it's definitely fair where you get a local event and it's like, well, who cares? You're getting a little bitty trophy, but
I would say that, and I was very happy about it, watching also during the Olympics, my colleagues. I can say one thing: archery is one of the most fair play sports, because I could see a lot of mistakes going on, or a lot of things that they were pushing, for example, in different sports. I don't say about archery. I say about, for example, volleyball, I say about fencing. I saw it on fencing many times. That they were trying to push and give more points, for example, to French teams, just because they were the organizers and they wanted to get more medals.
Yeah.
But this will never happen in archery. So we have those procedures and they work and it's fair. So I'm
It's
I'm very happy about that.
yeah, and archery is just such a great community, of archers, and we talk about this all the time on the podcast where, if you see somebody carrying a bow around and you're an archer, you may not have yours, but go up and talk to them because it's, pretty much instant friends. You have something to talk about, and that's what I'm finding. And by talking to archers all over the world, that is kind of what I'm seeing, you know, just in the archery community, no matter where you're at, whether you're here in the States or Europe or Africa or Canada, all over the world, it's all the same. It's just
It's all the same.
a great sport. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. You probably find that same thing too, don't you?
Yes, and I find it pretty nice that it works in the same way everywhere. It's just that maybe some countries are more organized or some they're more experienced, but they're going to help the other ones. There's a lot
Yeah.
of invitation, for example, I would say from my experience. When I was a European judge, a continental judge, we call them continental judges. I had zero experience about 3D and field because we had nothing about it in Greece. And I was feeling afraid that I just read the rules, but I don't know how they work because I never saw them in practice.
Oh yeah.
And then I found I met their judges who are now very good friends from Austria, who invited me immediately to their Austrian 3D championships, just as a training for me to learn how it works.
Oh,
So
that's nice. Yeah.
yes, I traveled to Austria and I joined them for the Austrian National Championship 3D as a guest judge, and I joined them with the purpose of training.
That was pretty good. Some good experience. Learned something that you didn't really do because they didn't have it really in Greece. So yeah,
And
that'd have
now,
been
as I'm more
interesting.
experienced on that, I'm more experienced judge as that because I was living in Netherlands for 4 years for my work, and there I asked them specifically that to join more field and 3D. Basically, 3D was in Netherlands is in IFA. It was not World Archery, so then I had the option of field archery. I specifically asked them to join more for the field tournaments just to learn more about them. And during those 4 years that I was living there, I got more and more experience. Um, and now that I have the experience that I wanted, I started doing things in Greece in order to start 3D and field.
Oh, that's good. How's that going?
with the, with the help of the Greek Federation. We started the first 3D tournament in 2019. I was very happy about it, but then COVID came in and it
Yeah.
ruined all the planning. But we will restart it very soon. Well, people already worked about it and they started to know it, and we had already some field competitions as well. So it really began. So I'm very excited about it. Yeah.
So it's come back. So now you're getting started. And do, how
Exactly.
do you
So
see 3D getting pretty large in Greece, or what do you
no,
think
no,
on that?
No, it's just small baby steps that we do now, but there is a lot of future because we have a lot of forests. We have a beautiful nature around that we can do things like that.
That's what I liked about 3D is you're outside, you're walking around in the forested
Hmm.
areas and you get to see a lot of
Yeah.
nature while you're out there shooting. And of course, last time I focus on making my next shot instead of enjoying the trees and stuff. But
Exactly. The nice thing with archery is like if you want to have more focused shooting, you go for target. If you want to shoot for fun, you can go for field and 3D. You have
uh,
different options.
so do you get much
You
chance to
never,
shoot your bow then, or
I shot once a field, and actually it was this year, and I was very happy about it.
that's good. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it
And
seems like, yeah.
I shot a 3D tournament in IFA tournament in Netherlands also during winter. It was snowing as well.
Oh, yeah, if you have shoots in the wintertime where you get snow, it gets cold.
Hmm.
That's what our hunt season is. So you're out there anyway in the cold with shooting your bow. So
Well, I don't know about hunting. I actually have a completely different perspective. Like I never see the bow as a hunting equipment. I only see it as a sport. I'm a little bit against hunting part. I know that in some countries they do that, but I prefer to see only targets.
that's nice about archery because you can, however you want to do, you can take the bow like you do and just use it for target and other
Hmm.
places if they want to use it to hunt. It's a valid weapon in a lot of places to hunt. They have their
Yeah.
special seasons and
Hmm.
there's something for everybody. Whether you're shooting
Hmm.
recurves, longbows, compounds, crossbows,
Whatever.
there's something for everybody in the sport. And
Hmm.
it's developed over 65 million years to be what it is today.
Hmm.
And nice that we can all enjoy the sport however we want to use it.
And also, I'm very excited to say that on Saturday, actually, I'm flying to Canada because I will be judging at the World Field Championship.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
You're flying over my country.
Yes. Yes, I will be there. I think on Saturday evening.
That would be good. You'll have to let us know how that turns out. How long of a flight is it?
10 hours to Toronto, and then we have another flight to Edmonton, I think.
I guess that's not too bad.
No, it's not.
Yeah, you only have one stop then. You
Yeah,
fly out
only
of
one
Greece
stop.
straight to.
But I think I'm gonna have a shock in my body because from summer season from Greece I will jump to I don't know how how cold it's gonna be there.
Well, if you're coming this Saturday, it shouldn't be too bad. It is getting a little
Too.
cooler at night here. I mean, Canada's a little bit cooler than us, but
Hmm. I think I will be freezing at the
yeah,
beginning.
yeah, bring some multiple layers. That's the key
That's
is
for sure.
multiple layers. Not one great big coat, just multiple layers.
Yeah,
That's how you
yeah.
stay warm in cold
That's
climates.
my plan. That's my plan.
I know one time
So yeah, it's my
I flew
first.
from here in Nebraska in the wintertime down to Florida and had my big winter coat and I got down there and I was, I had my suit and a little sweater vest and that's all I used because it was like it got down like 45 at night. And like I'm used to not even getting up to 45 and going with somebody coming a great big old heavy parka with the big old fur on the front of it all bundled up and just barely see his eyes and his freezing. It's like, dude, I left my winter coat in the motel. It's all what you're used to, and being, from your summertime, and what's kind of the average temperature there? like this time of year?
Well, average. Average is something, the climate is changing a lot. So now we have an
Yeah,
average of 36,
56.
36
Oh,
degrees Celsius.
oh, oh, Celsius. Okay. Yeah,
Hmm.
I don't know what right now we're
You are,
running about 70, 80 F, which I'm not sure what that is in C. I don't convert real well. But, but yeah, it'll be a little colder for you.
definitely, I'm sure. But I'm
Yeah,
very excited because it's the first time that I'm going for international field or 3D tournament. So it's gonna be something great as an experience as well for me. And also, I want to collect all the information in order to be able to use it for seminars, for trainings in the national level as well.
yeah, that'd be good. Now, is that an indoor or an outdoor event?
It will be field, so it's
Oh, outdoor.
outdoor.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that you never know what you're going to get
Around,
up there for
around,
weather.
around, around the lakes and the forest.
Oh, okay. Well, it'll be nice up there. Canada's nice. I went on a trip up
It will,
there once to Canada
it,
and in
it will
Ontario.
be my first time. It will be my first time in Canada.
Yeah, it's nice up there. A lot of cool stuff you'll be able to see. Different terrain.
Right, nice. Well, we'll see how it's gonna be with the tournament, and we'll talk about it also later if when I'm back.
Yeah, that'd be fun. I'd like to hear about some of those. Um, so what's been the most interesting event that you've judged at?
Interesting event. Good question. I think the most interesting one was Hyundai Cup. I think it was the last Hyundai Cup for the last tickets for Tokyo Olympic Games. It was in 2021. The last chance for the archers to get to the Olympic Games. Interesting from which perspective? For the emotions. Actually, it was a very tough tournament because we had to deal with 56 matches on live streaming, like the finals setup. And we were two line judges and two judges that they were scoring and target, and they were switching. So basically, the half of the matches I had to be on stage as a line judge. It was a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot of archers and a lot of matches.
A lot of matches as in a finals field. It's very difficult to keep yourself focused because I had a match. I got out from the stage. I just had maybe 1 or 2 minutes to get some water or something and check the video wall and go back to take my position in the tent to get ready for the next match.
Yeah, no downtime, is there?
So we got really tired after this the whole tournament, but it was very exciting because of the I could see there the emotions of the archers. When they got the position, it was really amazing. For example, the emotions and the intention was too high. Let's say I was not expecting it.
Yeah, that does sound like that would be, quite a challenge to keep focused and knowing how important it is to every archer that's out there. This is their
Eh,
goal is to get on the Olympic
Exactly.
team.
And imagine if you have, for example, a liner and you're gonna have to show who is the winner. and this winner is going to win the match to get the ticket for the Olympics.
A lot of pressure on you to judge that correctly and
judge correctly and be 100%, not 100%, 1,000% sure what you're doing.
yeah, that I can see how that would be a lot of stress on your part, you know, being the judge that's going to check the line. And
well, I was not on the target. I was working as a line judge at that tournament, but I can say that the team was great, and we really did a great job there. Like, even, you know, for me it was like, okay, I have a team match. I have to raise a yellow card because there was a penalty, but I have to be 1,000 times sure, and I have to do it now because the seconds are counting, and the team is going to lose their time. For example, if you get a yellow card penalty, and then, you know, the whole shooting is going to be ruined.
that's a lot of pressure on you to make sure you get it right and instantly get it right, because you can't wait. You know, you probably can't wait
You
for
don't
20
have
seconds
time.
to do the card. You don't, then it's too
No,
late. It's
no, you have to do it immediately. You see it, you say, yes, that's a penalty, and you do it immediately.
and that's what, you know, I would expect as a judge. Don't wait for them to figure out, okay, was this or not, because now they don't give me confidence that that judge knows what they're doing if they had to try and figure it out.
Exactly,
It's got to be
exactly.
now.
And the TV is there and everything is there, so you have to be you have to be 100% sure.
Yeah, yeah, that's all. And if you miss something, because with the video, they go back and say, hey, that was a penalty. Why didn't you call it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a split
Luckily so
second.
far, luckily so far in my career, it never happened so far. But we are also human. We are not robots. It can happen to anybody.
Right. You just hope it takes many, many years before it ever happens. Or it happens right away and you learn from it.
Yes, that's for sure.
That's interesting, all the details that you have to go through, and you know, all the pressure it puts on you as a judge. Not alone the pressure on the archers to do well, but for you as a judge to make sure what you're doing is 100% correct. Because the last thing you want to do is give a point that somebody doesn't deserve it, and then later
Exactly,
find out
exactly.
there's the one that should have went to Olympics that didn't get to go because you missed the call.
Of course.
Yeah,
So we are always happy when we finish a tournament and there were no mistakes.
yeah, because that'd be kind of hard to go back and fix.
Yes. Yes.
Not something you could fix it. Oh, well, there's no like instant replay in football. You know,
Yeah, you
tell us
know,
like, hey, I think there's wrong.
one of the important rules, an arrow shot will never be reshot.
Right. You can't reshoot it. Once it leaves the bow, it's gone. And where it's going, it's going.
It's gone, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, that's that I got a lot of information about, you know, what the judges are going through on there. Because, you know, I never really thought about the judges and what they have to do and the importance that they have in making their call. You know, especially when you started getting into a final, that's something like that, where you got so many going to go to Olympics, and you've got, you know, all these other people that don't get to go, and you got to figure out who it is. And you know, it's their shooting. You know, it's you know, if they don't shoot well, that's their problem, not yours. But you just got to make sure that, you know, you make the right call. And I can see how that could be quite stressful at sometimes when you have things that are close.
Well, I can say with the live streaming thing, it's a little bit getting with the practice. Like my first live streaming, it was horrible thing. I can say
Oh,
I was sweating and I was very stressed. But match after the match, it's getting better. It's getting better. So if you get experience, then you can deal with that. Everything
Yeah.
everything is about practice, actually.
Yeah, the more you do it, the more you get comfortable with it. And after a while,
Exactly.
then your live streaming, you don't even think about the live streaming because you're just so focused on what you're doing. And it's
Yeah.
it's live stream. Yeah, okay, big deal.
Okay.
You just
Okay.
go on.
Exactly.
It's like the first time when you do anything, the first time you do it, you're always
And
slower and a little more
the
apprehensive of
the
what you do. And
but you also have another thing. You have also the media people. What I'm saying about that is again exactly about the Hyundai Cup in Paris, which was for the Tokyo Olympics. The media people also wanted to prepare spots for promotion, video
right.
spots for promotion for the Olympic Games. And it was raining horribly at some point, and horribly, seriously. And the media people said to me, "You don't see the rain. It's not touching you." I couldn't put my cap. I couldn't put glasses. I was because they wanted to get video shots for the spot, and they said, "You don't feel anything. It's nothing. Uh, we need to have the spot for the Olympics." So just be there, act that there's nothing going on.
Pouring down rain and you don't have a hood on, no glasses on, you're getting soaked.
You don't feel rain, you don't feel anything, everything is fine.
Well, that can happen when you're focused on something else. You know, that's kind of in the background, and to be on there, to be on a video spot, advertising for the Olympics would be an honor, I would think, that they're using you as promotion for the Olympics.
Yeah, yeah, that was also an interesting part.
So, do you have any other stories about any of the other events that you judged at that interesting?
Mm, I would say yes. Another thing that I want to mention is that I'm very glad and very happy to join international tournaments for para archery. Uh, it's really amazing. The environment that those archers are creating is really amazing. I can tell you, the para archers are never complaining for nothing. They're just happy to enjoy the tournament, and we are also happy to have them there and support them for that. They're always my best tournaments, I can say. I judged the World Para Archery Championships in 2019, for example. That was also in the Netherlands. That was also one of my best memories, I can say. Also, European Para Archery Championships in Czech Republic a year before that. I can tell you the energy that they have, that the archers they have, the joy and all those feelings, they make you to stay happy and do the best you can for them.
That's kind of nice when you can be an event where everything is nice and a good environment, and um, that makes it a lot more enjoyable.
Exactly, exactly. That's what I can say from my experience. Those tournaments are the best one, and I always apply for them.
Well, good at tournaments, yeah, you always want to apply for
Mm.
them because it's going to be a good time. And when you find an event that's a good time, you want to go back every year and go to that same event.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So that's what I want to say as a conclusion.
Yeah. So tell us about your regular job.
My regular job. My regular job is wearing a lab coat and staying in the laboratory and doing experiments the whole day. Uh, and you try something new, it's not working for maybe 200 times, and then you are willing to make it work once. So then
Yeah.
that's the life of being a researcher, actually.
Yeah. Well, being an electrical engineer, I understand some of those things, and that's kind of, I think that's the fun part of doing
Mhm.
research and designing stuff is you work on stuff and it's like, oh, it works.
It works.
And then
Finally, it
yeah,
works.
yeah, it finally works. It works just like it's supposed to. It works better than what I designed it to, and those are
Mhm,
always the fun
mhm,
things when you're designing, and you said you was
mhm,
working on like solar panels and or solar cells, and being an electrical engineer, that kind of intrigued me. So
mhm.
I want a little bit more about what you're doing, and you know what you can talk about. You can't, being researchers, some things that you're not going to be able to talk about. So uh,
Yeah,
kind of
sometimes it's like you cannot really give specifics, but it's like, well, let's say these are the new generation of solar cells that we are creating some crystals which are going to do the job. Uh, those crystals are known as perovskite crystals that they are used for solar cells. So this is going to be a new generation which is not in the production yet. And that's also a fun part. When you're working in the lab, you see things that they're gonna be in production and in the outside world in the next years. People, they don't know about it, but you know it because you're working in the lab.
and you can't really say too much. And now, are they
Yeah,
going to be more efficient or
we are more working about to have more cheap materials,
okay?
cheaper materials, and that they're going to keep them. We're working on the stability right now. We want to keep the stability better.
Well, it's
That,
interesting to me, but that I know there's only so much you can talk about. So, um, yeah, I'm interested in what you're working on, and maybe
mhm,
sometime we can talk, when we're not recording, and
mhm.
when you
All
get a
right.
breakthrough
Yeah,
or
sure.
something, what you can talk about anyway. So,
Mhm,
yeah, it's been interesting talking with you, and all the stuff. I haven't talked to a judge, that's judging at
mhm,
your level. That would have been really interesting on the different aspects, behind the scenes that you don't see. Is I not even thinking about what that is, because normally you
mhm,
have at the local tournaments you'll have one person. If you get something, not sure if it's in line, you call one person up and go, you fill out your scorecard yourself. And but at that level, at the national and international and Olympic level, you can't depend on them writing down their own. You want to make sure everything is correct. And I might look at it and say,
correct.
I don't see any gap between arrow and the line. And says, oh, I see a gap. So you need a couple sets of eyes. In this case, you've got at least three eyes looking at it. you know and if all three of you agree, then pretty much it's fair. So
We have our way, and it works with geometry actually.
yeah. So what kind of advice would you get to give to somebody that's thinking about getting into judging?
Sorry, what kind of equipment
So
we need?
no, as somebody that wants to become a judge like you,
Oh,
what
mhm.
advice would you give them to start in that path?
All right. Good question. I would say to first of all that this person would be an archer, or at least that had to do something with archery before, because otherwise it's difficult to understand things about the archers. Well, people that they have a technical mind is very helpful, because and it's like if you have a good reaction on things, like even if you're driving, for example, you have a good reaction on that, then I think you can also do the judging thing very, very good, in a very good level, because you need this a reflex, let's say, at least at a high level, because you see something and you need to decide now, as we said. So that's something that you have to deal with your reflexes, I think.
You got to be able to make a decision on the spot and not think about it. Don't analyze it. Leave that to the engineers to analyze stuff. A judge don't have time to analyze.
There are some cases that you have time to analyze it, but there are also some others that you don't. But anyway, you need to be open-minded. You need to learn a lot of things, and anyone that would find himself on that, I would say just give it a try. You never know, because I also didn't know how nice it can be.
Yeah, it sounds like you kind of found your niche in archery, is being at, at the judging level.
If you are also a team player, then it's also nice, because we as judges, we are also a team. We work together in order to get things well for a tournament.
Yeah, that is definitely something that, someone, you don't have to be an excellent archer. You just have to be an archer that knows what's going on, and be it, do some archery events. At least
you
know what's going on.
You have to read, you have to study, you have to see those things in practice. You need an experience, and you just build yourself every year.
Yeah, it's like becoming a coach. First, you have to, start shooting, and then you got to be coached by somebody to learn, and then you can eventually start, teaching others how to do it once you figure out how to do it. And I know I took many years of martial arts, and then I learned, back tension release, and I, become an instructor. And then, I kind of incorporate the two because they kind of go right in hand. So my teaching techniques is a little bit different, and I like to actually tell you why I'm telling you to do something. So if I tell you to do something, I'm going to also include why. Because if you understand why you're doing something, it's a lot easier to understand what I'm trying to say. And, I teach one way, and then we modify it for each individual person, because all of us are different. We're all going to shoot differently, because our bodies are all different. We have different strengths, different advantages, disadvantages. All that is all, personalized. And you kind of learn that in teaching martial arts for 20 years. And then, I became an arch instructor in 95. So I've been, about 30 years ago, I started teaching archery, and so it all kind of combines, and that's a whole different ball game, is trying to teach somebody how to do something. And
right. So it's also the same for judging. Like everyone has his own way. You have to find your way, how it works, and you're gonna find it by getting experience. And also we have teachers. It really depends on also who was your teacher.
Yeah, there's
during seminars.
You have the rules, and you have to follow the rules, but there's some other things that you can incorporate. That's, ways you're doing stuff, and you might find what works better for you is different than somebody else.
And the type of the judge you want to be. You want to be the judge with a dot and a comma, meaning the hard judge by the book, or you want to be the judge being supportive for the art. I can recognize those two types of judges, I can say.
Yeah, you still got to follow the rules, but there's there's kind of little
Yeah,
nuances in the rules.
you're gonna follow the rules. Of course, you're gonna follow the rules, but you're looking at the rules, trying to find the solution and help the archers. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that kind of makes sense on, and you've got a rule and sometimes rules are conflicting depending on what part of the rule you're reading.
Yeah, you have case studies. In case studies, sometimes you have to think logically and use the rules to help the archers.
What's probably one of the worst violations that you've actually seen at an event?
Getting someone outside of the competition.
So you got somebody that wasn't in the competition showed up to
Uh,
shoot, or
yeah, it was actually about an equipment for archery, which well, they were not as a team, they were not informed well enough. They didn't. I think they didn't know about it, and there was disqualification because of that. It was very sad, for example.
yeah, that's you go and you don't know some of the rules, and you get there and find out that which equipment's not acceptable, and
Or it was something not mentioned, for example, in the classifiers card, and there are different things. So the para-archers needs to get through the classifiers, and they need to list all the special equipment. There was something messed up there, if I remember well.
yeah, that's kind of sad when that happens, but it'll happen.
But mainly the problem is that some countries are not well informed, and then we have a problem.
Because then if the country's not well informed, the whole team could show
Because
up.
they don't speak English. Because they don't speak English.
Oh,
We give the information, we try to pass the information, but those countries, they don't have people who speak English, and then they miss the information. That's what I
oh,
believe what is going on.
that could be a problem, not speaking English.
Miscommunication.
Yeah,
Miscommunication.
but because they didn't understand it, you can't really change the rules for them, because then you had to change it for everybody,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
just
exactly.
unfortunately that you know
Sad, sad
yeah,
thing.
yeah, it's sad when that happens, but
Mm-hmm.
there's some things that you just can't let slide.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yeah, that's been real interesting talking with you. It's a whole new world in archery that I hadn't really thought about or even known about, and I'm glad you got on and talked about it, because that's I think it's quite interesting, all the stuff the judges have to go through on that. It's just amazing that you know all that goes behind the scenes that as a spectator you don't see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Even if you're at the event, you really don't see all the stuff going in. You
You
might
maybe
see all the,
see, you see 10%. You see 10%.
yeah, because you don't really see all the other stuff going on.
Mm-hmm.
You just see, somebody standing at the line, and a couple of people walking up to score and pull the arrows, and the archer sitting there. You don't see all that in there, and that was quite eye-opening, I guess you'd say,
Mm-hmm.
uh,
Great.
on on what goes on behind the scenes like that. But anything else you'd like to tell our audience about?
Um, just have fun with archery. It's always fun. You need to enjoy if you want to do it. That's all.
Yeah, that's the thing. You just got to enjoy it,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a lot of places. If you have questions, you can always ask somebody, and if you have asked a question about how something is judged, you'd be a good resource
Yeah,
to say, okay,
it happens quite many times that people will text me and ask me questions about rules, for example.
better to know before you get there that,
I'm always happy to answer the questions.
yeah, that's good. And you know, a good place for resources is in the Arch Talk 101 Facebook group, which I host, and we've got about 1,500 people in the group from all different levels. And you know, if you're not in the group, go ahead and join, because if we have a question, post a question. If you're struggling with your shooting or something, take a video on your phone and upload the video off your phone to the group. And it's like, hey, I'm struggling with this. Somebody's going to be there. Myself, I've been an instructor since '95, and there's other instructors that are just new. There's other archers that have been there for shooting for 60 years. Sometimes even more. I started when I was just young kid, probably before, sometime after in the 5th grade, I had my bow because I remember where I was at, and so I've been shooting since the '60s. So it's been a while.
Wow,
Anyways,
amazing.
So that's pushing almost 60 years now. I've been shooting a bow, off and on, from recurves to wood arrows to fiberglass arrows and compounds to
Any
finally more
type.
compounds and carbon arrows, and a couple of times I shot crossbows, but that's not my favorite bow to shoot because I can still shoot compound, but I may be switching. Who knows? Depends on I can get my strength back. I had surgery done and I don't have strength yet to pull a bow back. So I'm working on that.
Nice.
If you want to listen to the podcast, you can go out to Spotify or any place you listen to podcasts out, and listen to it there. Or audible.com is another good place to pull it down and listen to it. And in my YouTube channel, Learn to Fix It Yourself, as well as in the group, you can watch the video, and we'll get this information out and let everybody have a lot of fun. If you have questions, let one of us know. We'd be glad to help you.
All right, great.
So my name is Roy Canterbury. I've been your host on Arch Talk 101, and we'll see you on the next one.